So recently, an actress, Foluke Daramola berated Nigerian youths who are in the habit of insulting their elders on social media. According to her, the unruly behavior of Nigerian youths on social media is becoming a pandemic that people are not really taking note of, all in the name of modernization and civilization. Now, this video went viral. Many have shared the videos, had different thoughts, different perspective to it. What are your thoughts? These are some conversations that we have because it actually leads to so many other layers, which we're going to try to unpack this morning. But you can call us on 081-270-536-870, 913907698. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So I always like to take the message away from the messenger because we can deal with, oh, who does she think she is? Is she now a moral compass for anybody? That's an angle, and we can always, well, that's one angle. But let us talk about the message for a second. Her concern is that a lot of people are not talking about the fact that many youngsters, sometimes people who should know better, on social media, take the opportunity that they are faceless to insult the elders in society, either for anything, or they make their own views known in the most malicious way. What are your thoughts on this? And let me come to you because we're on TV and we've experienced some of this also. We've experienced, in fact, some of us have experienced, I've experienced it face to face. In the way I go somewhere where they're telling me to my face, so we've all had different layers of experiences where somebody, I've shared my experience when I went to the mall, just to catch up mall. I wanted to buy something, and while I was there, the moment I entered, the girl hissed and even pay attention to her. She just started saying, all these people that be voting for APC, and she just said, all these people, I don't care. She was literally talking loud. Her colleagues knew it was me, and they were trying to hush her, but she didn't care, and she was just talking. I just went to go and buy my ink, everything I finished buying, and I said, thank you. I didn't confront her, but she was speaking loud enough for me to hear.
Everybody would know that.
She was talking to me. I didn't care, but she was a young girl. Maybe it's her first job. She's in university. Am I going to be engaging you on what basis? So these are things we've seen. But what Foluke was saying is that this new generation, if you are aggrieved about something, if you don't like something, are there better ways of doing it, or is this aggression needed? Because some will say, if you don't aggressively let these adults know they are goof, how would you take back your country from them? So there are different ways to look at it. What are your thoughts? Let me start with talk about.
Okay, so for me, I feel that I wasn't brought up in a typical Yoruba family. I remember growing up, a lot of people felt like, you don't greet the way Yorubas greet. Like, Yoruba. Even my mother-in-law had to confront me that she knows Yoruba people greet. So I understand the fact that as we modernize our parenting style, we've reduced the place of the respect that we used to grow up with. We're not all about, oh, you must bow. Yoruba will say and you don't use O for someone older than you. You bow your head when you're greeting somebody. A Yoruba girl must kneel down with 2 knees. So we've sort of like reduced emphasis on that place of respect. And we'we've modernized to the point of saying that even adults should earn their respect or we give it to them. And it's getting worse with our Gen Zs, the younger ones. All of them are more like, if you don't earn my respect, you don't deserve my respect if you don't earn it. So, which is a far cry from where we were brought up to respect someone, even if they embarrass themselves. Your own job is not to give them what they deserve, it's to respect them regardless and move on. I think it's time we talk more about it. We talk to our parents, we talk to the young ones, we talk to the ones we are grooming, the less than 10, the less than 15, to see how we can get back to that space where you respect people because they are older than you. You respect them. Agbalagba maje forever, and I will respect you for that. You're older than me. But we do have a problem in our hands. And if we look at social media, it is obvious we have not a problem, we have a crisis on our hands where people just use foul language. I can be very, very cross with you, and I would express myself without insulting or degenerating into foul language to express myself. But the generation we have now, any small thing, it is curses. Even someone, they curse the president, they curse you don't, we really shouldn't be in that.
Okay, let me come to BC, because I know that a lot of people out there, especially those of us that are encouraging young people, say those things that fear, it didn't really serve us. You know, did we reverencing our parents even when they goof, or adults, you know, you're not talking, not speaking your mind. If an adult gets on your nerves, you just keep quiet. We've learned in the new modernization that those things didn't serve us. You know, we should have told our children to speak their mind, express themselves, even if they're angry. But we are seeing the results of speaking your mind. So where do we find a balance?
So the problem we have is a lot of our adults have failed us in helping us manage our emotions. Our parents didn't really teach us how to manage difficult emotions because they too had their own struggles. They didn't know how to manage difficult emotions. So we've just gone through a loop of when you're frustrated, you pass it on to the next person, pass it on to the next person, and pass it on to the next person. Now, in our own case, we didn't have an outlet to pass it on to the world, right? But the generation today have an outlet that they can pass that frustration. So when they are hit, life hits them because they've not learned how to cope positively, they've not learned how to manage that emotion, they pass it on to the next person and it just goes, and you pick it up where you are seated. Maybe I'm in a very bad mood too today, and then I just see the comment and then I pass it on back, and we just keep going round and round. We need to go back to the foundation, which is helping people, helping young children, because no child is born with an ability to manage emotions. The child picks up on the parents, how you respond when they break plates or do things. They pick up on that and they learn how to manage it. And if, unfortunately for you, you are not able to give the proper example because you have your own issues and trauma that you're dealing with, you will pass on that mismanagement of your emotions to the child, and they think that is the way life is. Now, we see social media has given us that balance of everybody is the same, everybody is equal. I don't need to, how many followers do you even have? You just have like 20 more than me. And we are almost the same age. And then you take that screen to insult people who on a normal day, you cannot tie the lace of their shoes because you do not have a face on that social media. So let's go back. Let's look around us. It's good that we learn to speak up, right? I want a bright child. I want a child that's confident enough to tell me, Mommy, you made me sad the other day. And then I say, what did I do? And the child breaks down what I have done. And then I say, okay, I'm sorry about this. I take responsibility, but you did this and you did that. And then you also take responsibility. So we need to start learning how to have conversation. This is a very deep matter, Mariah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm passionate about it because I had to go through healing some of my childhood trauma. I'm actually teaching people how to do that right now. And I realized that our parents did the best they could with the resources available to them. So we wouldn't really blame them. But now we are seeing the results outside, and it's now embarrassing us. People will sit down, and somebody like YK will make a post, and a child will go there and type. And if you ask that child, it's not YK that is the child's problem. That child is going through things, but then jumps on it because
there's something you said that I
regulate.
wanted to also deal on. You said today they have an outlet, which is an interesting thing because when we were growing up, we didn't have that outlet.
Yes, we bottled it.
That bottling in out because I have like two stories to share with you. I've shared it before. When I was working in a what's the name of that company? Let me not mention the name. A company is a media company. I had a boss. This boss showed me Pepe, because you are one of those that just got back. You come to do acting as if you know everything. She cut you to size, but because of the kind of person I was, I allowed it. I never spoke back to her. She would enter the office. She tell me, when I'm talking to you, you put your hands behind your back. This is me, I'm earning salary that I just schooled abroad, came back, and I'm trying to work and I'm doing my own work. She told me, you put your hands behind your back when you're talking to me. When I say, hell, hi, how you doing? Don't tell me that. You say, good morning, madam. Like, this is somebody that we're like fairly same age. Patakota, she's 2 years older than me. But because she was my boss, she she really pulled me down. But I was angry. I come home crying. She pushed me. She'll make me write a report every day. You know how you do monthly reports or weekly reports? Not her. Daily reports. After that, finish that daily reports. She'll sign it to, but yes, I've seen your daily reports. Friday, my weekly report.
Oh.
End of the month, monthly report. Oh, I used to cry. You can't do that to a Gen Z today.
Lie.
You can't do that. They will put you on social media.
They will resign on WhatsApp.
They will take a picture of it.
They'll send their
They will record you when you are maybe when you are talking to them, and they will embarrass you. And they say, "Oh, my boss this to me." I was embarrassed, but even you know what happened? My next job, one of what got me promoted was my ability to write a report. Because of the drilling
I'm so
this
happy.
lady gave me. That drill I used to cry about. My next job, when I entered that job, what helped me was my boss saw that this girl was doing a report, a proper report that everybody else couldn't write reports. I was writing a report to him. He was like, when the opportunity came, he promoted me. And I was thanking this lady, like, Father Lord, thank you that this lady drilled me.
Yeah.
It helped me. That was one. Let me give another example. Thanks for staying with us. So today we're talking about the lack of resilience of a lot of young people today, especially in life in general, in social media, at work and family. You see people talking to their parents anyhow because, oh, one person's father is doing this for them. They're not able to do this for me. You know, you're challenging your father to his face. That are you not like a clinical's father who just paid him to enter abroad, they're going to Canada. We are here. You know, these are real life conversations that these Gen Zs are having, are putting on social media, posting, talking about. YK, I mean, before I share with my second example, what are your experiences like in this regard?
Well, you see, for me, I want to say that whatever you meet out today,
Come on.
it will come back to you in future. Yes. So, I mean, these young people, they're not going to be young forever.
Absolutely.
So, they are going to now reach an age where they too will demand respect from younger ones. And they will not get it because they are training the ones coming behind them to be even worse than they are. But when I say that, and one of the things that they use as a tool to be rude to us is, Shebi, it's your generation that spoiled the country. They are forgetting that we go are victims of the people who spoiled the country. Because like me, I've never been in government before. As they have been spoiling it, in fact, I have a father who was singing against it, who they were beating where. So we watch our father being beaten, being jailed, being everything. Yes. So you are now, so if you insult me, because there's this girl that came on, when I was talking about, what was I talking about? A deal breaker in my love life for me. And one of these blogs posted it. She now came to my own page to come and tell me, shut up.
Wow.
The reason I saw it was because she tagged me and why? What did I do to this one? I just blocked her. Deleted the text because I don't want that kind of text. If you insult me and you see it continuously on my page, it's because I haven't seen it, because I don't go there much. Right. But then I want to say again that if they're insulting you, because Foluke Daramola, I like her, she's everything, I talk to her, but I remember when she insulted me, because I just Googled her now. Yeah. She's 45, I'm 62, we did a job. The animation called me to do a job, girls' night out that time.
How many years ago?
This is like maybe 30.
Oh, wow.
I'm 62 now, I guess about 30-something years, 20-something years, longer time ago. And I was only doing what they asked me to do. I didn't take money for the job, I did the job, and I did the job well. But the enmity I got from her was terrible. So I'm wondering if she remembers. I remember.
Because it was done to you.
Because it was done to me.
Right.
Now, because now she's demanding respect.
So it's the same cycle.
So it's just...
The cycle will continue to get worse.
You know, it's you reap what you sow. Wow. So we should all remember, karma is a leveler.
They find everybody.
They find everybody.
There's some places where you don't reap what you sow.
Sorry, I will give you one example. I'll give you one example. Just this one. My ex-husband, he used to be there. I used to complain. Now, my grandson has the same sinus problem. And he's doing it to me. So I'm just saying,
complain now.
let me say, go ahead, the cash me.
The same thing. I had a brother who was, I couldn't stand it. My husband, I married the man that does it every day. I'm living with it now.
But you see, I want us to bring it back to how young people can behave better.
So for me, I think that we are raising a generation of children. We're raising a generation of people. They're not children. Some of them are not children.
Yes.
That lack resilience, lack respect, and have personal grievances with the world. And so for them, it is, I am here to fight the world. But the world is not going to stop for you. The world will not wait for you to get yourself together. The world is not going to, it will never be ideal. And sometimes the challenges are preparation for you to grow strength. But we don't want to face challenges. We want it easy, easy, easy. My pastor says microwave generation, just pop it in, it comes out, it's done. That's not life. Some areas will be like that. Some you would have to make the fufu through the long process. You would stir the fufu on the fire for a long time. It gets harder before it becomes the real fufu that you want to eat, that is easier and delicious. So we must raise people to understand that journey. And most importantly, we must raise people to understand the fact that not everybody would be your friend or like you. Not if your boss liking you is a bonus. You are at the job to do a job. Your boss liking you is a bonus. Yes, take it.
Some good bosses, some bad bosses.
And it is part of life. You can't choose that all your bosses will be good or that all your experiences will be sweet. You have the sour and you have the sweet. It balances out.
I'll show you an experience. Let me take this call from Shola from Ikorodu. Good morning, Shola. Are you there?
Yeah.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This topic is very interesting, but it's quite unfortunate where we find ourselves in this country. Modernization and exposition have totally destroyed our cultural value. But having said that, you see, I must say this. Those are what actually is happening right now with our youth, with our younger ones. It depends on the background you have, and the upbringing. I want to cite an example. My father was not exposed as I am. And I was born in the north. I came from Iluki, Ogbomoso to be precise. I was born in Jos, grew up in Jos, and migrated to Lagos State. I have all my children in Lagos State. Now, all the children are growing up. The way I brought them up the way I was brought them with respect. If my children wanted to greet me in the morning, they go down on their knees, they prostrate. One of the examples is, I have a step brother, which I am older than with just 2 months. I'm approaching my 50s now. Up to tomorrow, if this my brother saw me on ground and greeted me, I always...
It was difficult. I think it was very unclear. It wasn't very clear. Let me show you a story. Stella Dean Jacob, she's the director of news here at TVC. And she was popularly known as the General. People would call her for years. You know, she's worked in several news stations as director. And she had that reputation. The General is coming. There was that fear, General. And I mean, I didn't know her then. But when I recently went to Abuja and I saw Mark that works in Channels TV, Mark gave me a whole bag to give to Stella Dean, like a whole bag for her baby. I was like, wondering, what's the relation between? She said, the General. Okay? Back then, she was part of those that trained me. She now gave me the story how when she got the job, almost when she was reading the they just threw her in the deep end without even Stella Dean knowing at the time to read the news. And Stella Dean was shouting at her on TV. She said she was shaking like a jellyfish. She was shaking that she was like because she was reading. I think she was supposed to use the prompter or something. I'm not sure what happened exactly, but the fact that she shouted at her and it made her scared, and she was just so scared of Stella Dean. But eventually she found a way to just get to know Stella Dean and she started learning from her. That today she's Mark, yes, but part of those who formed the person you see today is that training she got. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be hard on people all the time because there are different styles of leadership. But sometimes we don't want to be refined. We want to just be given the platform. Oh, yes, you're now the TV anchor. be on TV. No, somebody will groom you. Somebody will cut you off and chip off those negative things and make you this person that we also. So we are celebrating. I shared her story. Share this, I'm not sure she gave me the permission to share it on TV. But the truth is that is a real life example of somebody that some people might be scared of. It's a tough love, there's the tough leadership. Some are soft and nice. Those who have worked on menu say, oh, she said nicely that. That's the kind of person I am, but some people are tough.
But have you thought of sometimes, sorry, Obiajulu, sometimes we too enable these young people. My daughter doesn't let her kids watch TV. You know, she doesn't want them to grow up. She says, because she has noticed that Gen Zs, they don't know how to use computers. They only know how to use iPad. So they are not really experiencing life the way when we were growing up, we experienced it. We are giving them that easy.
Microwave.
We are enabling it. So I'm talking to people that are training young children now. Right. Make sure that when you do it, give them that tough love you are talking about. We need to do it.
There's a place for balance, right? I wouldn't subscribe to it must be tough all the time.
Not all the time.
Not all the time. There are people who are naturally tough, and there are people who are not so tough. But the idea is raising young people to respectfully communicate. They don't know how to talk. So there was one that fired me one time, insulted me to my children.
Hey.
And that day, if I woke up on the left side of the bed, I fired back. When I fired back and laid curses, he came back and he said he did not mean it that way. Oh. No, that's not what he was trying to say, that he's sorry. Oh. I said, so what were you trying to say? He said, no, he was just pointing out examples. I said, you point out examples and you insult my children? How do you tell me that this one will not be like that child that happened to that school? I don't want to mention, you know what I'm saying. And you say you did not know what you're saying. So when I fired back, I laid curse with scriptures. Because I did not do, no costless cause shall stand. I did not do anything to you. I just made a point on TV like we normally do. And then you come for me. Or I think I posted my daughter's picture. And then you come for me and you insult her to her generation. How dare you? Now you born her for me. So I gave him back that day to me, self, na millennial. Forget. Forget. I am a millennial as well. We self, I have Dangana shop on my head. So I gave him back. And then he realized that he goofed. Luckily for him, he came and he apologized. And I said, you people need to settle down and learn how to communicate. So when my kids are upset with each other and they're fighting, and everybody's talking, I say, take a deep breath, calm down. What happened? You explain. What did it make you feel? You explain. How could you have told her that this hurts you? Say it nicely. We must teach them to communicate with civility. That is what is lacking. Because sometimes when these people see you after they've insulted you, they come and hug you. They actually like you, but they don't know how to communicate and hold you accountable.
Take this call from Sheo. Sheo is calling from Ikeja. Good morning, Sheo. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
You're live.
Good
Go ahead,
morning,
please.
Yeah, wonderful topic we're discussing this morning. You see, I will not blame the Gen Z. I will blame, I think it is the millennials, those who train the Gen Z. You know why? You see, we relegated that system of correction, that our value in the name of, no, I don't want them to, I want them to be free. I want them to speak their mind. I want them to just behave anyhow, because what me go through, what I went through, I don't want them to go through it. And I really need to tell us that, you see, this is the result of the training we have given them. That is what we are seeing. Because we did not train them well, that is the result. So growing up, all those corrections that our parents give us is what molded us to be able to respect. You see, no matter what adults will do to you, you must call that adult out respectfully. We did not train these ones like that. We did not train the Gen Z like that.
Thank you very much, Sheo.
Wait, can I point out something? Not be we the train Gen Zs. We are still
alpha generation.
Yes, our children are actually alpha. Gen Zs are like our younger. Yeah. Yes, now.
Our children are alpha.
How old are your children?
They are 10.
Okay.
They're alpha.
So, the other day, my daughter was trying to tell my husband that they're going to be having a, what they call this thing? Is it a scotch or whatever it is they have to do? You know, and she was so scared to tell her dad because she knew that her dad would say no. Now, you know, I've always shared on this day with my husband is a shouter. We accepted that that's how he is. That's how he talks, you know. And my kids, I always shout, don't shout at my children, don't shout at my children. He's taking around, let them fear me, let them fear me. I say, how would the children be fearing you? Because we're always clashing because he believes that they must have the sense of fear. But I never used to want that until when my daughter wanted to approach my husband that there's an excursion coming up, we have to go for X amount of days. She did not know how to tell her dad. She came to tell me first. How do I tell daddy? We now started discussing and planning it. Okay, let's do plan A. If he says yes, if he says no, what you know? And the way she was really thinking it through of how to approach her dad, it now clicked in my mind that this is what Brown is saying. There must be that sense of fear that, okay, my father, or you don't just talk to an adult, or you don't approach my dad. And it's the same way that trickles down how she talks to any other person. You can't just go to anybody and talk by just say, and talk by just, you know, you just talk to her anyhow. There must be some kind of restraint as a child to a father. The same thing, the younger one too, messed up in school, begged me not to have his back, begged me. And I said, listen, I won't tell your dad, but you will tell your dad. And I explained to him why he was so scared. But eventually, I told him, you messed up, go and tell your father. And he did that, but there was a way he went to approach, apologetically. Daddy, I messed up in school. I'm so sorry. He was already begging daddy. And even Brown saw the way he was begging. So the point I'm trying to make is that we've said we made kids feel as if, say it how you feel it. Whatever comes to mind, just say it. But you see, the truth is that we must begin to remind them. There must be a sense of fear, and I might be clashing with BC a bit on that. Yeah. There might be a sense of, we might need to bring back fear. But, but coaches will say, don't put fear. So how do we balance it?
No, but you're there to balance it. Your presence, his presence,
I'm the middleman,
provides the balance. But that's because you have a voice. There are some women who find themselves in that situation. There are families in that situation where the man is in the face and the women don't have a voice to be able to act as a balance. Then we have children who will live and grow up traumatized, and we don't want that. Yes. So it's not a blanket thing. There must be balance. Yes. It can't be all soft. When it is all soft, we have this problem. Yes. When it is all hard, we have trauma. And the trauma might lead to somebody being extremely opposite of what you want to achieve in the first place. Yes. And you don't want that. Yeah. When people are traumatized, they can either flee the experience entirely or go into that exact thing you are hoping they don't go into. Finding that balance is extremely important for us.
Let's go on a break.